Welcome back to the channel. I'm Michael Silva, and you're watching episode 2 of Figuring Out Money. Money, it's a complicated subject, and we are here to just figure it out. If you haven't seen my previous episode, go ahead and click the link right up there. If you have, thank you very much. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you like this content, smash the like. I think now I am at
25 subscribers.
I'm famous. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's episode. The 5 things that 18 to 35-year-olds should be saving for. Millennial money. Hello and welcome to my computer. Ladies and gentlemen, as we discussed, we are talking about the 5 things that 18 to 35-year-olds should be saving for. That's a millennial. Millennials should pay attention. So I'm going to first go over what those 5 different things are. And then you need to stick around once you know the 5 because I'm going to explain each of those 5 things. It's extremely important to understand what they are and what they mean, at least to me, and you could do your research yourself. But once we dive into each of those, I'm gonna be also sharing the amount of money that I put into each of these funds and how I utilize them in my personal life. So without further ado, let's go over those 5 things. Number 1. Oh wait, and yeah, it makes an acronym, R.O.S.E.Y. Because if you have money in each of these 5 funds, your life is gonna be pretty rosy. I'm so creative. Okay, the first thing, number 1, is retirement. What do you know? Woo, it's new news. No, yes, obviously something that between 18 and 35-year-olds should be saving for, millennials should start and have at the top of their list is retirement. They're saving for their future selves. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next one because that's pretty easy. To understand at least. So number 2, the O, is for opportunity. Yes, this is fun. An opportunity fund. Woo! This is gonna be, actually, you know what? I'm gonna explain what the opportunity fund is soon. So let's go ahead and just keep on reading them off. So we got retirement, we got opportunity fund. The S stands for speculation or speculation fund. Oh, this one is fun. This one I can't wait to talk about. This is what all the millennials like, that instant gratification fund. Okay, the next one for E is emergency fund. Probably the most boring of them all. Yep, no one wants to save for an emergency, but it's always good if you do have money for an emergency. So I'll get into the details with that. And then the last one, is a U. It's a U fund. You're saving money for you. And I'll explain what it is that I mean and why I put it last soon enough. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into each of these, starting with retirement. The retirement fund. Ah, yes, the retirement fund. This is where you're putting money away and saving for your future self. Now, I want to quickly lay out this. Sometimes when it comes to saving for your retirement, what I have noticed and what I have done, so I'm speaking from experience, is I over-save for retirement. And I will tell you this, if you aren't saving anything for retirement or you're saving a little amount and you go from say 0 to 50% of your income or 0 to 30%, or in my case, I'll show you what I'm saving later, the change, listen closely, the change from 0 to 15%, say, for example, is instantly. However, when you change instantly, the transition is what actually matters and what actually takes time. You can't hop into a new situation with old habits. You need to slowly grow into it. I would much rather save 10% of my income into retirement for 30 years instead of 50% for 3 months. Okay, it just makes more sense. So keep that in mind going into retirement fund. What is a retirement fund? Well, a retirement fund could be an employee, now this is my retirement fund, right? An employee-sponsored Roth 401k. There's regular 401ks, there's so many different funds, but if your employer offers you the ability to have a 401k or matches for a 401k, which I'll talk about, take advantage of it because it's typically a tax advantaged account. So there's a regular 401k that is, you can put in pre-tax money and pay your taxes later. I personally like the Roth 401k because I get to put in already taxed money and then it could grow tax-free over the course of my life till retirement. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it is that I have currently in my account. So this is my Fidelity account. My employee matches 6%. That's pretty good. Now, you'll hear a lot of big gurus say that they are super against the 401k. It's the poor man's, fund. It's what poor people do. You're gonna become poor if you invest in it. But pay close attention to what they say, because what they say has nothing, they never mention the company match, the free money. They never talk about it. So yes, if you're working for an employer that matches money, at least, at minimum, do what the company matches. So that's what I do. I do the minimum. I know that they match 6%, so I put in 6% of my money after tax. So what does that mean? I have $57,000 in that account as of right now, and that's already, I paid those taxes. That's money that I get straight up when I retire. Boom. It's that easy, okay? 6% there. So technically, since I put in 6% of my income and they match 6%, that's 12% of my income right there. The next fund that I have for retirement is Roth IRA. A Roth IRA, you're like, why would I have a Roth IRA and also a Roth 401k? Well, the main difference that I personally like is a Roth IRA. One, it only allows you to put $6,000 a year into, but the main difference is you're then able to choose from an array of different funds or individual stocks, maybe that pay dividends, whatever you want to do. You have that option to choose in your Roth IRA. And an employer matched 401k, they give you specific funds that you can choose from. So your options are significantly decreased, and maybe expense ratios, like for example, for mine and my employer Roth, are a little bit more expensive than my Roth IRA. So in my Roth IRA, I just started it last year. You can put $6,000 a year in. I currently have $7,200 in there. Now, the retirement fund, the current percentage, I want to tell you what I'm currently putting in here, and let me get here. It is 18%. So I chose 18% because 18% will allow me. It's at the point now where I do not care if this money goes up, down, sideways for a long period of time, because it's not a tremendous amount that I'm ever going to feel like I need to pull from, because I became comfortable by slowly increasing the amount that I put in. So 18% is my personal choice. Now, that's not 18% of all my income. That includes the match. But yeah, overall, 18% goes into my retirement. That's a long-term account that I do not want to take from again, I should mention, because I have taken from it before. And now, with the stock market at all-time highs, I'm just going to continue to just drip in money just as I'm doing right now. And even when it comes all the way down, or if it keeps going up, whatever the case may be, that's my retirement fund. I feel comfortable doing this. I feel comfortable with this amount for the basically up until I retire. So retirement fund. As a millennial, as a person from 18 to 35, if you don't have a Roth IRA set up, I use Vanguard. Set one up, and just put in a little bit of money and just build the proper habits. Build the habits, and then eventually when you're making more money, or if you have more money, then you can start putting more into it. Okay, it's very simple, dude. This game is simple. It's simple. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into number 2, the Opportunity Fund. Okay, the Opportunity Fund. Let me define what I believe is an Opportunity Fund. An Opportunity Fund is money that is saved up for a larger, thoroughly researched investment that has little to no risk. Okay. Pay close attention to these words. I wrote them out like this specifically for a reason, okay? It's a large amount of money that you're saving up for an investment that's thoroughly researched. Because when you have research that goes into it, thoroughly researched that goes into it, you're going to have less and less risk. Now, I want to give you an example, specifically for me. My opportunity fund that I'm building up, is going to be cash holdings and also physical gold. Okay, I'm going to build up a certain amount. The amount that I want to save is $100,000. That is my goal. That's a lot of money. So during that time that I'm saving up to get to that $100,000, and I'll tell you why $100,000 here in a moment, I'll give you the example of real estate. So as I'm saving the money for the opportunity, and once I'm saving up to get to that $100,000 mark, I'm researching the information that I need to invest potentially in real estate. Now, as of right this moment, I live in California, and I would love to invest in real estate in California. However, it's just too expensive. It doesn't make sense. So during the time that I'm saving the money, I am looking at different areas, right? I'm deciding whether I want to invest in a single family home, a multi-family home, could be a duplex, a triplex, whatever the case is. I'm researching the numbers, I'm understanding, I'm learning as I go. And eventually, if the market turns back around or the opportunity presents itself, I will then be able to take that investment and with all that research, move my money into that and build it to a bigger size as time goes by, or it'll pay me passively for the rest of my life. If I were to make the opportunity fund say only $5,000 or $10,000, it's not a big enough amount to make a difference even if I were to double or triple the money, which is very hard to do in the first place. If it was easy to double your money, people would be doing it all the time. So if I turn $10,000 into $20,000, I still really only have $20,000. However, if I can save up $100,000, invest into a piece of property that pays me income month after month after month, and it earns appreciation, it builds equity, that to me is a much better option. And that's why I think that number 2, opportunity fund is extremely importante. Number 3, oh yeah, number 3, the speculation fund. This one is one of my favorites, okay? I like the speculation fund because it allows for me to speculate. And I like speculating. I like, I would say speculation is a little bit like gambling. And here's my definition of what a speculation fund is. Money that is saved up for a highly risky investment, but the potential returns can be 10 to 1. What? So, yes, it is a highly risky investment, but the potential returns could be literally 10 to 1. Let me give you an example. Bitcoin. Dennis, if you're watching this, I'm gonna leave this little Easter egg for you here because I know how much you love Bitcoin and love talking to me about it. So yes, Bitcoin, if you speculated on Bitcoin years ago, a couple years ago, or even now, whatever the case may be, but if you speculated on it a while ago and you put in a portion of your money or some of your fund into Bitcoin, you would have saw massive returns, 1,000 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, wherever the case may be. However, when that money dries up, then you see it come crashing down. So yes, you get to speculate into something that can potentially give you high returns. Another thing other than Bitcoin, you might be familiar with cannabis stocks. Cannabis stocks, once word got out about cannabis being legal, those small cap, tiny little stocks started getting lots and lots of money put into them, which caused parabolic price movements in certain companies. Another example for a speculation would have been all of those in the .com boom and bust. So when the internet came out and all those .com companies started coming out, money started pouring in to these crappy companies that were being placed online, and the prices once again were going parabolic. You were making so much money on them until it obviously crashed. So what do I think the next speculation is? My speculation is in keyword junior, gold mining stocks. And specifically, I'm just gonna talk about, I'll give you a couple ticker symbols, but I'm gonna be talking about mine that I personally invest in is SGDJ. So junior gold mining stocks. Well, the reason why I think it's junior gold mining stocks over the big ones is because junior gold mining stocks are very small cap. So what does that mean? They're highly risky. And they're not, they could be exploring still to see gold mines. They might not even have gold mines. I believe the price of physical bullion, physical gold will be going up, which also in return, if that goes up, we can potentially see the junior mining gold stocks go parabolic alongside with it. That is why I'm speculating in junior mining gold stocks. The ticker symbol that I personally chose, this is an ETF. The expense ratio is low. It's by a company called Sprott. You can do your own research. You can look at Sprott if you want to. This ticker symbol holds, I believe it's 49 different junior mining gold companies. Another couple of them is EPGFX, GDXJ. GDXJ is a more well-known. EPGFX, that's from somebody that I listen to often, Peter Schiff. And then you could also invest in individual gold mining companies if you really wanted to. I don't. I just want to put some money in SGDJ. So I'm investing the amount. So now let's talk about like the amount first that you want to speculate within. So I am speculating $6,000. Why am I speculating $6,000? Well, $6,000 to me, if I were to lose that completely, my life is not going to change dramatically. Now, why is it so much less of amount than, say, my opportunity fund and my retirement account? The reason why is because I don't want to spend everything I have and everything I own into something that is highly risky for potential returns, right? So think back to Bitcoin. When it became mainstream, people started pouring large amounts of their money after the fact it went parabolic. And what happened to those people that took out home equity loans or credit card lines and they started dumping money into it? They speculated at the wrong time. You know, they got in when it was way too late and they lost a lot of money. Now, that would have been okay if they would have done a lot smaller of a portion, right? So that's why I say speculation fund for me specifically, $6,000. It's going to be going into my Roth IRA, and I'm just going to be buying shares as I go. I don't have $6,000 invested in this as of right now, but I have about 18 shares or 19 shares, and the price is around $32. And I'm going to keep continuing to buy throughout this year, because if the prices do go parabolic, okay, at worst, I can lose. I don't think it's going to go to zero. Okay, I don't think all the mines are going to go to zero. That doesn't make sense for an entire ETF to go bust. It's possible, but if it does, I lose 6,000. Say if I lose 50%, which is more likely, and 80%. Okay, yeah, I have $2,000 left, right? So I'm willing to risk $4,000 for if I am right, or if the people that I listen to are correct, I should say. They're the smart ones. I listen to smart people talk about this, not myself. I'm not that smart. If they are right, and they are mining stocks within this that go 1,000 to 1, 20 to 1, 50 to 1, 10 to 1, this $6,000 could turn into $100,000 very, very quickly. So that's why I speculate in it. That is the only reason. And that's why I think it's also important, being a younger person, to, you know, save a little money to speculate, because it would be cool to just hit the golden ticket, hit the lottery, and this is something that I believe can do it. So that is the speculation fund. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. The next one is the emergency fund. I'm going to be quick over this because I feel like everyone knows what an emergency fund is and why you should have it, even though there are news articles saying that if an average American doesn't have $400 to pay for an emergency that comes up, you know, I feel for you, but this is why you're watching this kind of stuff, because I believe that you're going to be getting out, and you're not going to be that average. You're going to be a lot different. So, what is an emergency fund? Why do you need it? When disaster strikes, you won't need to take from your other accounts. The last thing that you want to do is to save up for retirement, save up for opportunities, put some money in speculating, and then all of a sudden an emergency happened, and you have to take your money out from those accounts. Okay? That's why an emergency fund is something that you should highly consider, and just have cash on the sidelines in an emergency, in a different account, whatever the case may be. If you want to put it in a, interest, like a Capital One, 360 savings account that earns some interest, do that. Put it away from your regular checking account. Don't use it, and just keep it as a safe haven for if an emergency happens, heaven forbid. How much should you save? 3 to 6 months of expenses. In my personal opinion, That's going to take some time to build up. Yes. So put a small percentage of your income, obviously, and then grow it over time. It would be nice to have about 3 to 6 months, because if you were to lose your job, it gives you 3 months to find a new one, right? If a medical thing happens, you can deplete some of the funds and then save up some more. That's it. If you have more questions, leave them below, like I said. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the U Fund. Yes, the U Fund. The U Fund, notice how I put the U Fund last. The U Fund, you want to focus on your immediate needs, not saying like bills and all that stuff. We're not talking about expenses here, but the U Fund, like fun stuff for you, right? You want to focus on those needs somewhat last. Now, what is the U Fund? Money you save for things that are important to you. So let me give you some examples of my kind of things that I save in my U Fund. Vacations. Ooh, that was us, I think, on our Maui trip, or Sandals. I think it was Sandals. That was our honeymoon. So yeah, we saved our U Fund, and we used funds from that to go on vacation. Here's another one of us in Maui. That was a lot of fun. Maybe you're just saving up for a new mattress. Yeah, I made my wife carry it. Yeah, that's a picture of her wheeling a mattress around. Maybe you need new clothes, like I did in this picture, or a new haircut because my hair's slicked back. Yeah, that would make sense. Or you're saving up for a new car. Hey, just so you know, don't waste money on a car that you cannot afford, which I'll make another movie on that later. But dude, stop trying to flex, man. You don't need an expensive car to impress those people that really honestly don't care. This is the car that I drove. I made the most I've ever made at my company in a year was $114,000, okay? I know that's might be a lot for some people, but it's also probably nothing to a lot of other people. But this is the car that I drove for 4 years, making good money. Like, and everybody that I worked with was like, what, had a nice car, and they're like, why not get a nice car? Like, notice the door, how it's a different color, and notice all this beat up and it's all foggy taillights. Like, I felt more proud driving around this car than I do driving around my current car, which is a Ford Fusion, right? Although it's a hybrid, so it gets really good gas mileage. So, okay, that's the U Fund. Now, I didn't put an amount that you need to save specifically for you because it's U Fund. You got to determine that for yourself. Just know it is last on the list because the other things are extremely important for your financial success in the long term. Don't be focusing just on your current immediate needs and forget about all the rest. Now, one thing I want to close off with, yes, these are the 5 things that you guys should be saving for if you are a millennial or between the ages of 18 to 35. If you have not began this, do not start off going so hard. Once again, I want to mention, yes, you can change instantly, but the situation and the transition takes the longest time to get used to, okay? You don't, like, if you start a new diet, right? You start a new diet, you change instantly. However, the transition your body goes through to like adapt to eating new foods and working out every day, sometimes if you bring in those old habits and you didn't transition, you revert back to where you started, or you revert back way even before, right? You go from eating healthy to like eating 40 In-N-Out burgers in a week. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. Specifically not In-N-Out, but it was Jack in the Box, number I think 23, the extreme sausage. I'm done talking. Okay, you guys, I hope this helped you out. Yes, and I will see you on the next episode.